shadows, older than men. They whisper that monsters were born the day the skies cracked. When the conjunction of the spheres ripped open reality, spilling creatures from other worlds onto the continent, vampires slithered into existence here. They are not native to our world, and that is what makes them so dangerous. Gather round, witchers, sit by the fire, and listen well, witchers. Tonight, our talk isn't of drowners or necrophages. No, tonight, we speak of vampires, creatures that walk the continent cloaked in shadow, wearing human faces when they wish, and hiding truths far older than Kaer Morhen's stones. Unlike drowners or ghouls, vampires aren't just twisted flesh. They are alien, otherworldly, and for many, eternal. To understand them, you must walk a path from the lowest, snarling beasts to the highest, godlike predators who mock death itself. Lesser vampires, the beasts of the night. To origins and nature, lesser vampires are the most common kind encountered by witchers, though common does not mean harmless. They are believed to be malformed echoes of true vampires, either devolved from higher bloodlines or spawned in our world after the conjunction. Unlike their higher cousins, they are bestial, more monster than man. Types of lesser vampires: fleeter, ugly, grotesque, hunched creatures with oversized jaws. They attack like rabid animals, relying on brute force. Fleeter lack intelligence but make up for it with ferocity and speed. A chimera, gaunt, skeletal figures with elongated arms and claws. Their screams can terrify prey, and they thirst constantly for blood. Kataken, more bat-like, prowling cities and villages under cover of darkness. They are ambushers, preferring to stalk and pounce. Alpha bruxae and bruxae. These border the line between lesser and higher vampires. Bruxae appear as pale, alluring women, but are feral hunters at heart. Their shrieks can shatter bone and paralyze a man. Creation and lifespan. Unlike folklore vampires, lesser vampires in Sapkowski's world are not made by being bitten. They are born of their own kind, creatures continuing since the conjunction. They live for centuries if not slain, but they do not possess the near immortality of higher vampires, behavior and social habits. Lesser vampires are often solitary, lurking in caves, ruins, or abandoned settlements. They do not build societies. Instead, they prey on peasants, wanderers, or livestock, often blamed for mysterious disappearances. In short, they are predators, not philosophers. Greater vampires, the threshold between beast and noble. Alps and bruxae. The Alps are deceptive, often taking the shape of beautiful women. Unlike bruxae, who kill savagely, Alps are more subtle. They toy with their prey, inducing nightmares, feeding on fear before blood. Bruxae, however, are apex predators among the lesser kinds. Sapkowski made them infamous through the short story of Bruxae, where Gerald nearly died fighting one despite all his training. Their shriek can burst organs, and their agility rivals any witcher. They represent a dangerous bridge, beastly instincts with a taste of cunning. Higher vampires, lords of the night. Now we step into Forbidden's territory. Higher vampires are not monsters. They are a separate, superior race altogether. To call them monsters is almost an insult, for they see themselves as beyond humans, elves, and even witchers. Origins: higher vampires came through the conjunction as fully formed beings. Unlike lesser breeds, they were never truly mutated. They are their own species, with hierarchies, codes, and ancient knowledge. Some scholars suggest they are ageless, possibly tens of thousands of years old. Biology and power. Here's what separates higher vampires from all else. Immortality. They cannot be killed by swords, fire, or silver. At most, they can be forced into a deep regenerative sleep. Regeneration. Wounds that would kill any creature heal within moments. Severed limbs grow back. Shapeshifting, they can turn into bats, mist, wolves, or even take on fully human forms. Superhuman abilities, strength surpassing witchers, speed so fast it blurs, senses sharper than any predator. Mind influence, hypnosis, telepathy, and manipulation of emotions. No need for blood. Unlike lesser vampires, higher vampires don't require blood to live. They drink it for pleasure, ritual, or tradition, social behavior. Higher vampires often live among humans undetected. They are educated, cultured, and curious about art, philosophy, and politics. They prefer conversation to combat, though their wrath is legendary. Iconic higher vampires. Emil Regis Roelek Terzif Godefroy. Regis is perhaps the most famous higher vampire in Sapkowski's books. He is a barber surgeon, philosopher, and surprisingly moral. Unlike most depictions of vampires, Regis chooses abstinence. He does not drink blood, believing it beneath him. His friendship with Gerald proves that higher vampires are capable of loyalty, compassion, and wisdom. Dettlaff van der Irrtine. Dettlaff is the tragic centerpiece of The Witcher 3, Blood and Wine. Unlike Regis, Dettlaff struggles with rage and betrayal. His love for a woman leads him into chaos, where his fury rains destruction on the Duchy of Toussaint. Dettlaff is proof that higher vampires, while rational, are bound by emotions deeper and more dangerous than human passion. Creation myths and age. Were they created? Vampires were not created by human or elven magic. They are otherworldly, originating from their own dimension before the conjunction of the spheres thrust them here. How old are they? Lesser vampires, hundreds of years, rarely reaching a millennium. Higher vampires, effectively eternal, with memories stretching back to before recorded human history on the continent. Strength hierarchy, from weakest to strongest. Fleeter, Akimara, bestial scavengers, dangerous but predictable. Katakin, stronger, more cunning, a genuine threat in cities. Alps, bruxae, highly dangerous, cunning, and seductive hunters. Proto-higher vampires, transitional species with intelligence but less power. True higher vampires, beings like Regis and Dettlaff. Ageless, regenerating, unstoppable without rare magic. Even witchers admit, if you face a true higher vampire, the best advice is to run. Relationships and society, among themselves. Lesser vampires, solitary, driven by instinct. Higher vampires, maintain friendships, rivalries, and even families of a sort. Some form secret societies, hidden from men. With humans, lesser vampires treat humans purely as food. Higher vampires treat humans as curiosities. Some live alongside them as equals, others view them as ants. With witchers slay lesser vampires regularly, but higher vampires are a different story. Some witchers claim hunting them is pointless. Gerald himself has admitted that they are not monsters, but something beyond. Philosophy of blood. For higher vampires, drinking blood is not survival, it is indulgence. Some use it as art, ritual, or a test of restraint. Regis' abstinence contrasts with Dettlaff's obsession, showing how blood becomes not just sustenance, but a reflection of willpower and morality. The fear of vampires. To peasants, all vampires are demons of the night. Tales spread of shrieks that kill, claws that drain life, and eyes glowing red in the dark. But the true horror is this. The peasants only know of the lesser kinds. They cannot imagine the lords of Shao who walk among them unseen, smiling in daylight. Conclusion. Not monsters, but mirrors. In the end, vampires in the Witcher world are not simply beasts to slay. They are a spectrum brutish scavengers at one end immortal philosophers at the other. They force us to ask, what does it mean to be human when creatures older, stronger, and wiser than us walk the same ground? Some, like Regis, show compassion greater than any man. Others, like Dettlaff, burn with passions more destructive than any warlord. They are predators, yes, but they are also mirrors reflecting the best and worst of ourselves. So the next time you hear a shriek in the night, pray it is only a fleeter. For if it is a higher vampire watching from the shadows, your silver sword will not save you. Thanks for watching, Witchers. Next week, we'll talk about the Witcher's deadliest dance, Geralt versus the bruxae. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to join the hunt.